Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Salesforce admin training day 10. Let's see the today's agenda. So we'll quickly go through the previous session. We'll talk about the differences between the sharing and transfer. Then we'll talk about the use cases. Then we'll talk about the owner updates and real-time issue. And then we'll talk about the queue supporting objects, queue members, and what are the navigation steps to create a queue. And we'll talk about one of the use case and queue manual sharing. And then we'll see about the differences between the public group and a queue. And finally, we'll have a conclusion. Then we'll have a quiz, homework, and today's interview. So what did we learn yesterday?
How to create public group. Requirement.
Public group creation.
Requirement.
Sharing mechanism. Sharing mechanism, what are the things that we have learned?
Automated sharing.
We have learned the manual sharing, automated sharing, and the third one is Apex sharing. Apex sharing, we will do it during the development. So let me connect the Salesforce org. Right. So yesterday we have created a sharing rule. Sharing rules are available within the sharing settings. Sharing rules available within the sharing settings. So here we have seen sharing rules are two ways we can create it. One is criteria based, which we have seen. Owner based is the one which we will see. Okay. Owner based is right now owner based does not have a user. Even for the owner based also, we do not have a concept called user. We have a only option which is available, public group, role and rest. Just a second. Okay. So role. So you might be seeing the options which are public group, role and subordinates. Role and subordinates. These three will be available. Users will not be available. Users will not be available. So how to assign based on the owner? How to assign based on this owner? That means we have a certain users who are available. Certain users who are available. Now, when I say certain users, for example, I have a 3 users. Okay. Whenever the case is created by any of these 3 users, user 1 and user 2 and user 3. if I create a record, if I create any of these three record, any of these users creates a record, it should go to the, it should assign to the, it should go to the different public group. That means it should be shared with a different group. It should be shared with different public group. That means if if user one is creating the record, user one is creating the record, or user two is creating a record, or user three is creating a record. Whenever they create a record, it should be assigned to the, or it should be shared to the sharing group. It should be shared to the Hyderabad group. User 2, user 1, user 3, it should be shared to the Hyderabad group. So how can we implement this? So what we have to do is, for this scenario, whatever this user 1, user 2, user 3 are there, whatever the user 1, user 2, user 3 are there, we have to create them as a separate public group. Separate public group. So what are the user 1, user 2, user 3, which we are thinking on it. So those users, combine it and push them into the public group. And that in that public group, whatever the users are there, if any of the user is created the record, it should be shared with another public group, which is called as a Hyderabad. So that's the reason we have a owner based, doesn't have a user. It has a public group, role and subordinates. Public group, role and subordinates. Right, so that is the option owner by. So in real time, which one we use it, role type or rule type or a criteria based? In real time, mostly we will go with a criteria based, very less, maximum like a 2% or I can say 3% will go to the owner based. Otherwise, it will be always role based. Always it should be criteria based. Clear? Now, let's move on to the today's topic. Today's topic is, we will talk about the queues, the new concept queues. Okay, before talking to the new concept queue, we should understand a share. We should understand the differences between the sharing and a transfer. Differences between the sharing and a transfer. Now, so far we have discussed a sharing. So far we have discussed a sharing. Now, what is the differences between the sharing and transfer? Now, let's take a scenario. Scenario is, I have a requirement. I have a, let's suppose I have a vehicle. I bought a vehicle. And this vehicle is, assume that it is an Audi vehicle, right? So I bought a vehicle. So when I bought a vehicle, I have done all the registration, everything, whatever is there, everything I have done it. Suddenly after few days, one of my friend came asking that, can you share, can you give me the keys of your car? So because we have some plan, we wanted to go outside. They have some plan. Assume that they have some plan. So they wanted to go outside. So what the person is came here, the person is asking me to share the key. He is not asking me to completely transfer. What he is asking, he is, can you give me the key so that I can plan? So that he can plan. So my friend is planning for a vacation. So maybe 1 day vacation. Okay. They wanted to go for some places nearby Hyderabad and they will be back by Sunday. So what they are doing is, they came to me and they asked the car. They asked the car. And when the person came to me and asked the car, I gave the keys to this person. I gave the keys to this person. Now, when I gave the keys to this person, that means the what are the registration form, whatever it is, still the car is, I am the owner of the car. I am the owner of the car. But for it temporarily, I am giving a keys to this person so that he can take care of, or he can use this car. He can use this car, right? And once his work is done, he is returning me back. He is returning me the bag. That means for a temporary person, I'm sharing the keys to this person so that this person can use whatever his work is there. He can complete it and he can give back me after 3 days. Now this is one scenario. The same concept is there. Same concept. I have a car, right? I bought it 2 years back. Assume that I bought it 2 years back. When I bought it 2 years back, now I wanted to buy a new car. It was a 2 years back and it became a too old model. Right now I wanted to buy a new model. When I wanted to buy a new model, what I'll do, will I just give it temporarily to another person or will I sell it? Usually I'll sell it, because if I'm planning to buy a new car, definitely I'll sell this car. When I sell this car, that means what are the registration forms, everything in the registration forms, the owner is getting changed. The owner of the vehicle is getting changed. Owner of the vehicle is changed, right? That means I'm completely giving my car to the another person. That means I'm selling it. I'm changing the owner of the vehicle here. When I sell it, I'll definitely have to change the owner of the vehicle. But at the same time, in previous, owner is the same. Owner is same. Owner is I'm the person, right? So, but for some time, I'm sharing here the details. But here, what I'm doing is I'm completely changing it. I'm completely changing the owner. That means this is called transfer. I'm transferring my vehicle, transferring the vehicle from my name to another person, from my name to another person. When I transfer the vehicle, my authority, whatever the authority on this vehicle is there, I lose it. I lose it, right? Because I'm not any more authority, I'm not any more owner of this person. So that means I'm completely transferring the entire information, whatever it is supposed to be related to vehicle, all the details I'm transferring to this person. As soon as I did a transfer to this person, now I lose all the authority on this vehicle. Whereas whenever I'm sharing the record, that means owner is my name, But in this case, I'm sharing the record. Whenever I share the vehicle, now if this person is using my vehicle, okay, if this person is using vehicle and when he came back, if there is some small scratch, small scratch on the vehicle, right? So let's assume that there is some scratch here, like this it was there. So immediately I'll ask that person, what is this scratch, right? And if the tire is not good or something is very bad condition is the car, I have a complete authority to ask that person why you have done all this. Because I just shared for some time. I did not transfer it. I have just shared the record. I did not transfer the record here. But whereas here, after this changes of this, that means after my vehicle is sold, right? My vehicle is sold and right now this person is the owner of the vehicle. If there is any scratch, on the car, whether here or here, any scratch, anywhere it has, I don't have authority to ask that person what happened to this. I cannot ask this person because I'm not anymore owner of that vehicle. Whatever happened to that vehicle, I need not to worry about it. Because it's not on my name, right? So I completely transferred that. I completely transferred the owner details. That means all the related to the vehicle, everything I have changed it. all the related to vehicle, everything I have changed it. When I have changed it, that means when I transfer the data, we are losing the information. We are losing the authority of the vehicle. We are losing the authority of the vehicle. So I do not have complete authority to ask the person what happened to the vehicle. Right? So that is the differences between the sharing and a transfer. Now here, let's see in terms of a Salesforce. So sharing, let's suppose I have a account record one. Account record one. So account record one is created by Rohit. Account record one is created by Rohit. Now, whenever the Rohit is created, okay, now Rohit is going for a vacation. Now, what he does, he will share the record to the Ram. He will share record to the Ram for some time. So what is happening here? They are sharing the Rohit is sharing the record to the Ram. Rohit is sharing the record to the Ram. That means owner is still Rohit, right? But for some time, he is sharing the record to the person. He is sharing the record to the Ram. That means once the Rohit is back, he has a complete authority to ask what has been happened on this particular record. Because owner is still shares it is Rohit. For some time, he is working on it. For some time, he is working on it. Similarly, transfer. So let's say another example, same example, Rohit is the owner, and here what this time what he is doing is he is updating the owner. The person is, Rohit is updating the owner of the account record to Ram. Whenever he updates the owner of the account record from Rohit to Ram, that means he is indirectly saying to the Ram that I'm not any more owner of this particular record. You are the owner of this particular record. So complete authority is available with the Ram. Complete authority is available with the Ram. Now, whatever he does it, he do not have any authority to ask what happened to the account record. Rohit will not have a authority to ask what happened to the record because he has already shared he has updated the owner details. Once the owner details are updated, now he can leave that account record. Now complete authority is with Ram. So Ram should be taking care of it. So that is the differences between the sharing and transfer. That is the differences between the sharing and transfer. Sharing is a different, transfer is a different. Sharing is a different, transfer is a different, right? So for the lead and case, we have a concept, we have a one of the option in the OWD which says public read write transfer, right? So for the lead as well as the case, we have a one option in the OW which says public read write transfer. By using this feature, we can transfer the record ownership from one user to another user. That means transfer is nothing but I'm completely transferring the ownership of the a specific record. Ownership of the a specific record. So I'm completely transferring the data. I'm completely transferring the data. So once the transfer is done, like upon transferring the record from one user to another user, so what will happen once I transfer the record? Whoever the old user is there, the old user will lose all the access and authority. Once the owner is shared the details, that means he will lose all the access on the record and the new person will get a full control on the record. That means, as soon as I transfer it, I do not have any access to drive this car. I do not have any access to drive this car. Now I lose all the control on this car. Now this person, whoever the new user is there, the new user will get full control on the new user will get full control on the vehicle. That means full access on the vehicle. Now he can modify this vehicle, he can change it, or he can update his seat covers, whatever is there, he can do it. Now, the old person is there, he does not have any access to ask, why are you changing it? What is the problem? He cannot ask that. He cannot ask that. Now, public read-write transfer option will be available only on lead and case object. Only on lead and case object. Now, let's go ahead and see. Now, if you go here, now let me duplicate this. Now, here, when I go to the lead, in the lead, right, when you click on this lead, so let's say here details, in the details, you see owner details. You see owner details here. Now click on this icon. When you click on that icon, you will see one option, user and queues, right? User and queues, two options you will see. This queues is basically, it's directly saying that you are transferring the record. It is transferring the record. So you will see here users and queues. And when you go to the case is also having those two options on the owner level. Those two options are available on the owner level. So let's open the case. So here is the case owner. Click on this case owner. Now here you have a users and queues. Whereas if you go to any other account, apart from the lead and case, for example, I'm going to the account. When I go to the, if I wanted to update the owner, if I wanted to transfer the owner, that means here it will see only the one option which is available is users. Only the one option which is available users. You cannot see queues. You cannot see the queues, whether it is an account or whether it is an opportunity. Apart from the lead and case, wherever you go, whichever the object you go, now you can see only the options which are available is users. This is for the standard objects. This is for standard object. But how about the custom objects? How about the custom object? So what we will do is, let's go ahead and create a custom object. Is everybody knows how to create a custom object? Okay. So in order to create a custom object, now come to here, object manager, and click on a create. When you click on a create, you have a two options. You have a two options. One is a custom object, another one is a custom object from spreadsheet. Custom object from spreadsheet. Now I'll create a one custom object here. Click on a new custom object. When you click on a new custom object, here it is asking what is the object name. What is the object name? Let's say here I'm creating the candidates. I'm creating the candidates. Let's take here candidate. This is candidates plural name. So label, as soon as you mention what is the label, label is basically what is the object name, then automatically your API name of the object name will be auto-populated. Then you have a plural label. So plural label is, if it is a candidate, it will be plural. That means candidates. If it is an account, then plural label is accounts. If it is a contact, then it plural is contacts. So there at the end, it will be added S. Plural is nothing but multiple. Now select here. Now candidate name is a text. By default, keep it this. Now just simply going down, and here I'm clicking on the launch new custom tab wizard after saving this custom object. Now rest all things which I'm keeping it as it is, right? So this is first time we are creating. I'm not going in depth. We have another session for in depth, but just for the high level, I'm creating one object. So whenever we create a custom object, label, right? Your object name is automatically is displayed. Plural label is, it's a basically multiple names. So if it is a candidate, then multiple plural for the candidate is candidates. And record name is, I'm just taking the text, which is a candidate name. Data type is text. You have a different data types here, text and auto number. So for now, I'm taking as a text. Now click on this, scroll down. Everything is as it is. I'm keeping it. Only the last two checkboxes I'm enabling it. What is this last two checkboxes? First one is says that, do you want to attach notes and attachment for this custom object? I am saying yes. Do you want to create a new custom tab for this custom object? That means if I select this, automatically my tab is created, and that means this is one tab, right? This is navigation bar. In Classic, we say it as a tab, right? So do you want to create that custom tab? So I'm saying that yes. So click on save. Click on save. So once we click on a save, now here candidates are available. Tab style, select any tab style. Select any tab style. So candidates, let's choose something related to that. So you can choose people and click on next. Click on next. And just as it is, I'm just clicking on next, and click on a save. Click on save. Just refresh here. Now let's click on this. Let's see, candidates are available here. Candidates. Now I can see candidates. Candidates is a custom object. Now let's go ahead and create a one record. Let's say one of the candidate is Abhijit. Right click on it, save. Now for this record, owner is saying this. Now if I try to change the owner, if I'm trying to change the owner for the custom object, for custom object also, it is available only user. You cannot see the queue. Queues are available only for lead and contact. Queues are available only for lead and contact. You cannot see the queues for even custom object and standard object. Queues, you cannot see it even for custom object as well as standard object. Only the two objects which are available queues. That means transfer can be done only for two things, which is nothing but using the queues, which is lead and case. Transfer can be done two ways. Either I can directly select a user or I can select a queue. Now, if you going for a selecting a queue will be available only on the lead and case. If it is a you are selecting a user is available for every object, whether it is a standard object or a custom object, you have an option to select a user. Now let's take a use case. Let's take a use case. Let's assume that there is a Dell company who are doing the laptop manufacturing. That means Dell company is building the new laptops. They are building the new laptop. That means they are manufacturing the new laptops. Whenever the new laptops are manufactured, assume that there are 5 users who are already bought the laptop. 5 users, that means 5 customers bought the laptop. after 2 years, after 2 years or after 1 year, okay, usually we'll have a 1 year warranty, right? So usually we'll have a 1 year warranty. Let's assume that out of these 5 members, out of these 5 members, 1 member is seeing a issue after 6 months after buying the laptop. So 6 months are already over. After the 6 months, the person is seeing the issue with laptop. When the person is seeing the issue with the laptop, definitely that person raise a case to the Dell customer, right? They will raise a issue to the Dell customer. How they will raise it? By calling the toll-free number. By calling the toll-free number. Let's suppose he raised a case by calling the toll-free number saying that the laptop battery is like every time I have to keep the charger. Now, if I remove the charger, my laptop will get shut down. If I remove the charger for the laptop, the laptop is automatically shut down. So I need to keep the charger 24/7. I need to keep the charger 24/7. Now, this is the issue that is raised to the Dell company. Now, assume that this person is calling from Bangalore. This person is calling from Bangalore. Now, another person is called. Another person is also raised, and that person is also having an issue with the laptop. Let's assume that keyboards are not working. Some keys are not working. Few keys are not working. All of a sudden, it stopped working those keys. Now, that person is also called. The toll-free number, he also raised it. The second person, let's assume that from Hyderabad, he called. And the third person is also called, saying that it's a Windows updates. After happening the Windows update, suddenly the laptop has shut down. And when I try to start it, it is giving some warning. So it is not starting. So that is the third person is saying the issue, raised an issue. Now, all of three is raised at different issues. All of three raised at different issues. When they raised at different issues, by calling to the toll-free number, what they will do is they will basically Dell will collect all the information, including the location. Once they are done, what they will do is assume that here the records are created. Once the records are created, now basically the owner needs to be updated. Now records are created, it is in the system. Until unless you do not change the owner of that record, nobody will start looking into that. Until unless you do not change the owner, nobody will start looking into the record. So same thing, when you are taking as a, for some time, if you are taking the vehicle of another person, you will not worry about that much about maintaining the car, right? Dust in the car, you will not worry about it, right? But as soon as you take the car, as soon as you own the car, you start feeling it. If there is a small dust also, you start feeling that you should give a service, right? So owner is, when you say that you are the owner to this record, then person will feel complete authority to take care of that owner, right? So as soon as the records are came to the system, and we need to update the owner. If you update the owner, then only the person feel that, okay, this is my case or this is my issue. I need to talk to the customer. So that's how the whoever is the internal users are there, right? They feel the complete authority on that particular issue. So for that reason, we have to update the owner field on the record. Whenever we are updating the owner field on the record, right? This is a case, right? This is a case we are creating. So if it is a case, then what we can do is we can assign a queue. So assume that I have created a 3 queues. Hyderabad sales queue, Bangalore service queue, or Mumbai service queue. So we have a 3 queues which are available in the system. In the system, we have a 3 queues. Hyderabad service queue. So whenever the record is created here, wherever the location it says Hyderabad, so immediately the person will be assigning the owner or assigning the record to the person called, to the queue called Hyderabad service queue. So if it is a Bangalore, then the Bangalore service queue it will be assigned. If it is a issue came from Mumbai, if it is a issue came from Mumbai, then whoever the people are sitting in the toll free to collect the detail, customer care centers. So customer care center, they will assign the, that means they will update the owner to the Mumbai service queue. So these are the different queues which are available in the system. If I send it to the queue, right? So that means whoever is a part of that queue, whoever is part of that queue, they will receive an email. They will receive an email saying that there is a new record that is created in the system. There is a new record that is created in the system. This is the one of the use case which usually happens. Now, let's move on. Let's see the owner updates. Now, how can I do the owner updates? So owner updates is basically we have two ways to update the owner. While transferring the lead or a case record owner, we can transfer to the either user or a queue, which we have already seen. So when you click on the lead level or a case level, you see two options. We'll see two options. One is a users, another one is a queues, another one queues. So we have a two options, right? Let's just read this real-time issue. Okay, this is a real-time issue which happened. A scenario here is, whenever we are assigning a record. Now here, let's go to the lead or a case. Record owner. So whatever the record owner you will see. So let's open the record here. We have a record owner here. We have a record owner which says this April batch, which says April batch. So there is a user. So we also have a different users. We also have a different user. So what is happening is when the user logged in, let's assume that we have a Lionel Messi is there, right? So when this person is logged in, now once the person is logged in, they were not able to see the user here. They were not able to see the user. Whoever is the non-admin users are there, they were not able to see the users here. They were not able to see any of the users here. Now, how did it happen? All of a sudden, it happened that. So they were able to see previously, but all of a sudden here, the lead owner is blank. The lead owner is blank. Now, let me show you how it happened. Now, during that time, suddenly one update which came, okay, that is during the spring 20. During the spring 20. So let's assume that right now I'm logging in as a Messi. Now, whenever I open the account record or a lead record, what are the record which I open? In that record, if I go to the details section, now I can see the owner, right? I can see the owner. Now let's take something different owner. Right, they were able to see the owners. Now, all of a sudden, what happened is they were not able to see. Now, this person is able to see right now. And during the reason for that is we got a one update in spring 20. In spring 20 release, we got a one update saying that there is a new configuration, new checkbox is introduced. What is the checkbox that is introduced is the new checkbox is require permissions to view record names in the lookup field. Require permission to view the records names in the lookup field. That means you need a permission to review the names in the lookup field. And for this, and in real time, we usually keep all the objects are private. All the objects are private. So here also user, I have a private. Now, if I select this, click on and save and click on save. I just enable the one of the checkbox in the OWD. I just enable the one of the checkbox in the OWD. Right here, I have enabled require permission to view record names in lookup field. Now let's log in as a Messi. Now let's go to the account. Let's click on Himaja. Details. No, it's not available. Let's go to the lead. It's available. Detail section. Why it's not happening? Sharing settings, user is private. Let's log in again as a different user. Let's go to the account. Now, if I go to this account, if I open this detail section, now he is not able to see the owner. The owner is empty. The owner field is empty, right? Nothing is available. They are not able to see anything. Who is created this record? This record is created by Himaja. This record is created by Himaja. Now this person is not able to see any of the owner. We have not deleted the owner. We have not deleted the any owner. But still, the person is not able to see the owner. So what is the change that I have done is the change on the Spring 20, which is released. If you have a OWD setup private, and if you say here, require permission to view the record names on the lookup field, right? So if you enable this, they will not be able to see the users, or they will not be able to see the who is the owner. Who is the owner? They will not be able to see. Now, for example, right now they wanted to change the owner for this record. Now, suddenly they open the record and then they were not able to see the record here, right? They were not able to see the record here and they cannot even see any records or a users they cannot see. Only the user that they can see is one user here. Now, if they wanted to search, like he wanted to assign it to the Himaja, he cannot see, or he wanted to assign it to the Messi, he cannot see anything because user level we have a private. User level we have a private and he cannot update anything. He cannot update the record. So users, the person will not be able to see because the OWD level I have a user is a private. On top of it, what I did is I enabled this particular option. If I enable this particular option, I cannot even, though I have not able to see the user here, even displaying the name also I cannot see. Displaying the name also I cannot see. Now let me turn off that setting. Let's go to the sharing setting and click on here, edit. Now scroll down, uncheck this. Click on save. Right, so it is unchecked. Let's go back again, log in as that user. Click on in login. Now let's open the account. Click on accounts. Now let's click on Himaja. Right now, this person is able to see the account owner. The person is able to see the account owner. He is able to see that. Does that mean this person is able to search Himaja? No, he cannot able to search it. This level access is OWD. But whether though I have not have a access to assign or a change the owner, but still I can see the name. Still I can see the name here. If I click on this Himaja, if the person will click on this Himaja, it says that you do not have a permission to view the record because it is a private. Because it is a private. Now, but he can see the who is the account owner. Those details can be viewed here. The reason is here this option I have unchecked. This option is unchecked. If this option is enabled, then we cannot see the owner. Whoever is the owner is available here. That person owner cannot be viewed by the whoever is a non-admin users are there. Whoever non-admin users are there, they cannot see the name of the owner. Name of the owner they cannot see. When they cannot see, if the user is a private and if this is enabled, they cannot see. If user is a public read or public read write, if this is enabled, they can see that. They can see because it says that it is public. It says it is public. Now let me update that. Click on edit. Okay. Now let's go to the sharing settings. Let's refresh. Now here I have a user. User, I'll say here, public read only. Click on save. Public read only. Save. And then I'll update the checkbox also. So right now I'm updating the user OWD access for user is a public read only. And then I'm enabling this checkbox. Then I'm enabling this checkbox. Click on it, save. And log in as a non-admin user. In my case, Kishore Kumar is a non-admin. Now log in as a non-admin user. Let's search here account. Click on accounts. Now click on Himaja. Now detail section. The person is able to view the record. The person is able to view the name of the owner. Though I have a checkbox is enabled. Though I have checkbox is enabled, the still person is able to see. So what is the reason here? Because OWD level, I have a public read only. OWD level, I have a public read only. So that's the reason they were able to see the record. If you keep OWD level, it is a private and you have enabled that checkbox. You have enabled the checkbox require permissions to view the record names. If you enable this, so then they will not be able to see any of the account owner. Any of the account owner, they will not be able to see. So here we have a user public read only and the checkbox is enabled. This checkbox will work only if you have a OWD is private, then only this will work. Clear? And the next one, which is called manage groups. Okay, I'll just give you the information about the manage group. First of all, by default, in your new org, it is a disable, it is a enable. That means when you edit it, you can able to see when you click on edit on the OWD level, you will be able to see manage group. Manager group, what are the manager group option is there? That group you will be able to see as the enable option. Okay, so click on edit here. So when you click on edit, here you will see manage group is, for me it is disable. For you guys, you will see enable. But once you enable this manager group, you will not be able to disable this. You do not have option to disable it. So that means when it is unchecked, you will see this option is not grayed out. It is not grayed out. That means you have an option to edit this. But once you enable this manager group, you will see that this button is grayed out. That means once you switch on the manager group, you will not be able to disable it. You will not be able to disable it, which is not available. You cannot able to disable. So once the manager group is enabled, you cannot disable the manager group, right? So whatever the option is there, you cannot disable it, this one. Now, usually why companies does not use the manager group. Nobody uses the manager group. The reason is very confusion topic here, manager group. So whenever you enable this manager group, the first thing what you will observe is whenever you wanted to assign or whenever you wanted to share a record, whenever you wanted to transfer the record or whenever you wanted to share a record, whatever you wanted to do, right? Either sharing the record or either transferring the record. The first thing you will see is there are two options which are enabled here. There are two options which are enabled. Let's click on here, sharing. Manager, subordinates groups, and manager group. Manager, subordinates group, and manager group. So you will see these two options. As soon as the sharing setting, manager group is enabled. Manager group is enabled. You will see these two options, which are manager group, manager subordinate group. So never enable this option. In companies, we do not use it. Because the concept here is manager group is, the concept for this is user OWD level, user is a private. OWD level, user is a private. When user is a private, when this object is a private, when this object is a private, then users will not be, whenever the non-admin user, that means non-admin user means we have a Salesforce platform user, right? Salesforce platform users are there. Whenever we have a Salesforce platform user, if that user is trying to transfer the record, that means they wanted to share, either they wanted to share the record. For sharing the record, they have to click on a sharing button and click on the sharing here, and they have to choose the user. When they choose the user, as it is a private OWD level, they cannot view any of the users. They cannot view any of the users on the sharing button. Now, they are not able to share the record, but there is another option. There is another option in the OWD, which is called as a manage group. Manage group. When you have manage group is checked, that means it is true. That means here for this user, whoever is the manager is there. So user level, there is some manager will be there, right? So if you go to the user, in the user, we have some concept called manager. Let me show you that. So if I open any user here, in the user level, we have a one field called manager. We have one field called manager. So for this user, who is the manager? Who is the direct manager here? Who is the direct manager? If you want to share with that manager, if you want to share the record with that manager, then you can select here manager group and choose the user. Choose the user. So whoever the user you are choosing it here, that means here usually you will not be able to see any user. You will be seeing the only the person who is having the, like if I have logged in as a Kishore, right? So if you select here manager group, you will be able to see only the Kishore Kumar. But that Kishore Kumar, whoever is the manager is there here, only that person it gets shared. Only that person it get shared. So it is a lot of confusion which is depending on this manager group. So that's the reason in companies we do not use the option called manager groups. Okay. Never turn on this, but if you turn on this, you will not be able to disable this. You will not be able to disable. So do not play with this manager group. Right. So let's move on. The next topic is we are starting is queue. We are starting queue. So far, whatever we have discussed. So far, whatever we have discussed. So far, we have discussed the security features. In the security features, yes, it will be maintained. You have a history. In the history, it will be maintained. So in the security features, we have learned the security overview. Security overview. Second one is license overview. License overview. The second thing which we have seen, license overview. And then we have seen the profile overview. Profile overview. In the profile overview, we have seen how to do with the use. What is the use of profile? What is the use of profile? And what are the different types are there? What are the different types of profile, right? And then we have seen how to create a profile. We have seen how to create a profile, and then how can we assign a profile to the user. And then we have seen what is the relation, between profile and user. Profile and user. What is the relation between profile and user? And this is in the profile level. Next thing is we have seen the user management. User management. In the user management, the first thing is that we have seen how to create a user. How to create a user. Second one is how to edit the user. How to edit the user. How to edit the existing user. And how to reset the password. Password per user. And then we have seen the how to freeze a user, how to deactivate the user, right? And then we have seen what are the different fields that we are using in the user, useful fields. In user object, right? These are the user management. These are user management. Next, we have seen the role hierarchy. No, before that, we have seen the permission set. Permission set. Now, how to create a permission set? And then use of the permission set. Use of permission set. And then we have seen the what is the differences between profile and permission set. Profile and permission set. What is the differences between the profile and permission set? What is the differences between the profile and permission set? How to assign a permission set to the user. Fifth one, how to assign a permission set to the user. And what are the permissions we can enable in permission set? We have seen this. And the sixth one is permission set group. Permission set group. In the permission set group, we have seen use of permission set. Permission set group. And how to assign permission set to the permission set group. Assign the permission set group to the user. We have seen this. And within this, how to mute the permission set. How to mute permission set. Next, we have seen the seventh one, which is called as a role hierarchy. Role hierarchy. In the role hierarchy, we have seen use of role hierarchy. Use of role hierarchy. Overview of role hierarchy. how to set up the role hierarchy. And how to assign role to the user. Right, so these all we have seen, and then finally we have seen the OWD settings, organization, wide, default settings, OWD. Now here we have seen the overview. First of all, use of the OWD. Overview of OWD. And then OWD options. Private and public, read only, public read write. Right, and then we have seen the object settings in OWD. Next one which we have seen is sharing mechanism. In the sharing mechanism, use of sharing, types of sharing, manual sharing, automated sharing, right? So these are the options which we have seen. And then we have seen the public group. We have seen public group. Public groups. Use of public group. How to create a public group. And then different type criteria. Not in the type here. Automated sharing, we have seen the, within this, we have seen the owner-based sharing. Owner-based sharing. Second one is criteria-based sharing. Now, how to share? Share a record. How to share a record? Using public group. Right. And the 11th one is right now we have a topic called queue. Did I miss anything? Total 10 topics we have learned so far.
Muting the permissions. Permission set. Muting the permission set.
Can you speak louder?
Muting the permission set.
Muting permission sets.
Muting permission sets is already covered here.
Okay.
Right. So the next topic is, we will see is queue. Now, what is this queue? Why we need a queue? So especially for whenever we are transferring the record for an object called a lead or a case. Whenever we are transferring the object for a lead or a case, we need a concept. We have a concept that we can say is queue. Queue is nothing but a location. Queue is nothing but a location. In simple terminology, queue is nothing but a location. Queue is nothing but a location where all the pending records are awaiting for the processing by the executive. Now, simple example. Let's take the real-time scenario, then we will go on to that. Now, let's assume I have booked a train. For example, I'm traveling to the Gujarat from Hyderabad. From Hyderabad, I'm traveling to Gujarat. I'm traveling from Hyderabad to, let's assume that in Gujarat, we have a Baroda. Okay. I'm traveling from Hyderabad to Baroda. Baroda is a place in Gujarat. So I'm traveling from Hyderabad to Baroda. It is booked. I booked the train ticket. And my train is around 2 p.m. My train is around 2 p.m. Now this is my timing that I need to travel to Baroda. Now here, but I reached to the station by 11:30 only. I reached to the station 11:30 a.m. The reason is I might have to vacate the hotel. Okay, I might have to vacate the hotel in Hyderabad. So the hotel, the last time is 11:30. After 11:30. So what I have done is 11:30 a.m. itself, I reached to the hotel. Now, once I reach to the hotel, I need to stay somewhere, right? Because my train is 2 p.m. My train is 2 p.m. But what should I need to do from 11:30 a.m. to 2 p.m.? What can I do it? So in any station, we have something called waiting room. There is something is available which is called as a waiting room. There is a waiting room which is available. Waiting room. In this waiting room, if you observe that there are so many people will be there. People who are next day, the train who is on the next day, they usually come and sit here in the waiting room. They will wait for their train. If it is a evening, they will wait till evening. If it is a afternoon, they will wait for the till the evening time. Like this, people will keep on waiting in this waiting room, right? So there are so many people who will be there. There are so many people who are waiting here. So I also will join into the waiting room. In the waiting room, I'm waiting there, right? So whenever my train reaches, now exactly 2:15 or a 2:20, that time what I'll do is, I'll come out of this waiting room and then I'll stand outside for my train because it is almost 2:20. It is almost 2:20. Now, in the meantime, there are few more members who join in the waiting room. There are few more members who are joining into the waiting room. There are so many members who are joining in the waiting room. Now this room is never empty. This room is never empty. So people are keep on coming and going. So it will always people like flowing there. It's a flowing, right? People are coming and they are going out, coming, they are going out. So what is happening till you have a time? Till you have a time that you have a 1 hour time or you have a 15 hours or a 12 hours, whatever the time is there. Okay, you are sitting here. Once your train is reached, then you are coming out of that waiting room. You are coming out of that waiting room. Now, this waiting room is based on the location. If you are in Hyderabad, a separate waiting room. If you are in Vijayawada, it is a waiting room, right? If your train is at the Vijayawada, you cannot sit in the Hyderabad waiting room, right? Wherever the train that you have to get on in the same area, in the same location, you will wait there. You will wait there. As soon as the train is reaches, you will log in, right? You will get on to that. Similarly, queue is also same thing. Queue is nothing but a waiting room. Queue is nothing but a waiting room. It is almost equal to a waiting room. Queue is nothing but a waiting room. Queue is nothing but a location. It is a location where all the pending records are waiting for the processing by the executive. In this queue, all the pending records which supposed to process, all the pending records are sitting in the queue. If I have a 20 records which are pending, that means those 20 records will be pending in the queue. And centralized location to assign a work. That means queue is a centralized. Queue is a centralized. That means there are so many records are available inside the queue, and whoever wants to start working on that, they should look at the queue and assign the work themselves, or somebody can assign the work to the other person. So queue is it's a centralized location where the work which is sitting in the queue can be assigned to the different persons. Now, based on that, that means if I have 5 members in the queue, 5 members are in the queue. Instead of assigning every record to the one person, what I can do is I can look at the bandwidth of the user, whether the user is available or not. If the user is available, then only I'll assign the work to the user. If user is not available, then I'll not assign it. So out of 5 members, if 4 members are occupied and 1 member is free, so that 1 member will come to the queue and look at the records in the queue, and he will assign himself a record. That means whatever the records are there, we are effectively assigning the records to each person. Each person we are assigning it. So Salesforce queue prioritize, distributes, and assign the records used by the teams. That means the first thing, what are the records? For example, if I have 20 records in the queue, if I have 20 records in the queue, out of 20 records, if I have one record which is a escalation, one record is escalation. If one record is escalation, the first person has to look at the escalation record. Whatever the highest one is there, for example, 5th person is empty. When the 5th person is empty, that person has to look at the records in the queue. When he is looking at the records, when that person is looking at the records, the first focus, it should go to what are the escalations that are sitting in the queue? What are the escalations that are sitting in the queue? The person has to look at the list that exists in the queue. If there are no escalations, then person has to look at the high records. So always escalation records are on top. Then after that, you need to look at the high records. Then we have to look at the medium records. So the order will be always in the real time. You have a escalated. And then you need to look at the high. Then you need to look at the medium cases. And then you need to look at the low. Low is a very less priority. And the most priority of the issues are high and escalated and high. So those records will be assigned to those members. Now, there is no limit to the number of queues. There is no limit to the number of queues. How many queues can I create it? Can I create it one queue, multiple queues, or there is no limit to it? You can create as many as. On all the queues, whatever the queues are there, all the queues information will sit inside the group object. Whenever we create a queue, a record, that record sits inside the object called group object called group object. So all the queue information sits into the object group object. And the queue contains two types of the queues. One is a supporting object, another one is a queue members. Queue is a two parts. It has a two parts. One is a queue supporting object. Second one is a queue members. First one is a queue supporting object. Second one is queue members. Now let's see that what is the queue supporting object and what is the queue members. The first one is, we'll see supporting objects. The word itself it says that supporting objects. The word itself, it says supporting objects. That means queue supporting objects are basically, it represents what object records can be held inside the queue. Right? Which objects records can I hold it inside the queue? That means I'm going to support few objects. Those objects record, I can hold it inside the queue. And I cannot support all the objects, only specify the objects which I wanted to support. And those related supporting objects records only I can hold inside the queue. Right? It supports the few objects in the real time, the standard ones. To text, lead, case, queue text, order, knowledge article, right? User provisioning request, feedback related object, service appointment, work type. And along with these standard objects, we have all the custom objects, the supporting objects works. Supporting objects works only for lead, case, quick text, order, knowledge article, user provisioning request, feedback, related object, service, appointment, work type, all custom objects. And apart from these standard objects, all the custom objects, it gets supported. No, you need not to remember these examples. You need not to remember these examples. If you remember lead and case and all the custom objects, fair enough. Lead, case and all custom objects, queue supporting object is supports. The next one is a queue members. The next one is a queue members. Queue members is nothing but it represents the members. As it says, it is a group of a people, members, group of a people who can access the queue records. Group of a people who can access the records. That means as soon as the record has been placed inside the queue, as soon as the record, like I have created a record, and that record is I have placed inside the queue. Now as soon as I placed inside the queue, all the queue members will receive the email. whoever is the members, what are the group of people in the queue, everybody receives an email. Everybody receives an email. And the record will get awaited inside the queue. The record will get waited inside the queue till any of queue member accepted it. Till any of queue member accepted it. That means the records are waiting. It's waiting in the queue. As soon as the person is free, one record can be assigned to that person. One record can be assigned to that person. So records will get awaited inside the queue till any of the queue member is accepted. That means till any of the member is take the record. That means the record owner should be updated from queue to that person name. That person name, it has to be updated. As soon as it is accepted, the owner is automatically updated. Then it is called as the record is starts. That means the person is owning the record. Once the queue member is accept the record, then the record ownership will get transferred to from queue to the accepted member. Whoever is accepting it, the owner gets changed to their name. Right, so as I have mentioned, we can configure one or more queues inside the organization. Is everybody noting down the notes? Okay, how about offline? Sorry? I cannot hear you. Okay. Asma, are you clear on the queue? Do not click on anything. You have clicked on something. Okay. It's not a bad job. Bad job concept is different. Queue is a different. Bad job is nothing but it runs something at the back end. It is runs something at the back end. Here we are not running at the back end. It is a different, altogether a different concept. Queue is a different concept and the other one is a different concept. Do not compare the queue with the bad job. And navigation steps to create a queue. In setup menu, search for a queue, quick find, click on the queue links, and then you will see here queues, all the list of all the queues you will see here. Click on a new button. Once you click on the new button, you will see the screen. So we have 3 steps which are available. First one is a queue name and email address. Second one is a supported objects. Third one is a queue member. Let's go and see that. So the navigation steps are set up and search for a queues and click on here queues. When you click on here queues, now queues allow the group of user to manage a shared workload more effectively. Queue is basically manages the shared work. It manages the shared work more effectively. A queue is a location where records can be routed to a waiting process by group members. Queue is a location where the records can be routed to await processing by the group members. The records remain in a queue until a user accepts them from processing or they are transferred to the another queue. Either from the queue you can assign to the user or you can transfer to the another queue. And you can specify the set of objects that are supported by each queue. Right? So that is nothing but a queue supporting objects. So let's go ahead and create one. Click on a new button here. So when you click on a new button, you will see 3 sections, which is one is a queue name. You need to specify the label name and you can mention here email and send email to the members. Now, as soon as the record is assigned to the owner, then you wanted to send an email to the queue members. Then you can select this supported objects. Supported objects. What are the objects that you wanted to support? So case object, right? Or a lead object, right? And any of the custom objects that you have. Now, just now we have created a one custom object, candidates. Yes. So candidates, right? And then we have a different objects which are available, invoice, knowledge article, right? So location group. These all are supported objects which you can select it here. And the queue members are, you can, apart from these supported objects, you can select a queue members also. So both can be selected together. This is mandatory. Supporting object is a mandatory. You have to select a supported object. You have to select a supported object. Along with that, we have to select a members. Like whenever it is assigned to a queue. Now, as part of the queue, these 2 members are part of the queue. These members are part of the queue. So they should be receiving an email whenever a record is assigned to the user. Whenever the record is assigned to the user, they should be getting an email. Clear so far? So let's go ahead and create a one queue here. So let's say here I'm creating the Hyderabad sales queue. Right? So let's take a requirement here. So requirement is configure a queue Hyderabad sales queue by adding the lead object as a supporting object, and the Messi is a queue member. Messi is the queue member. So I'm creating the Hyderabad sales group. Automatically send email to the members will be enabled. Now, if you want to, along with the members, if you want to receive an email, if you want to receive an email, you can also specify the email, which is a common email, right? So you can specify the email here. And we are supporting for this queue, Hyderabad sales queue is only for lead object, because the requirement, it says that by adding the lead object. And here supporting members are Messi. Now click on it, save. Now I have created one queue. Let's create another queue here. Let's say Bangalore sales queue. Right? So this is enabled. Now here I'll select some SCAR IT. Now lead object, I'll take the same object here. But this is a different queue. This is a Bangalore sales queue. Previous one is Hyderabad sales queue. Now in this queue, I'll add a Kishore and Himaja and then click on a save. Now 2 queues are created, right? 2 queues are created. Now once the queues are created, assigning this queue to the user, That means, let's suppose now I'm creating a lead, right? So we have a lead object Now this is the lead owner. It says that April batch. So what I'll do is I'll assign it to the queue. Now I can select here queue and then I can choose the member here. Who is the queues are available? Those members. Let me refresh this. Now detail section. In the detail section, let's say here, I'm assigning the owner to the queue. One is here I'm selecting the Hyderabad. Hyderabad sales queue. Hyderabad sales queue. Send a notification email. Hyderabad sales queue will also become the owner of these records related to the whatever the lead is there, right? And also all the open activities, notes and attachments also will be shared, right? I'm clicking on the change owner. As soon as the change owner is clicked, now immediately you see here Hyderabad sales queue. Hyderabad sales queue. What happened? The owner has changed from the username to the queue. The owner has changed from the username to the queue. Username to the queue. That means right now, this account, this lead is assigned to the queue. So as soon as the queue is assigned, then immediately we will receive whoever is the part of that user, whoever is part of the users, whoever is the users part of the queue, they will receive an email saying that lead, this is the lead, right? So assigned to you. To view the details of the lead, click on this link. Whatever the link is there, click on this link. So like this, they will be receiving an email in the real time. They will be receiving an email in the real time. That means whoever the users are there as part of this queue, everybody receives an email. Everybody receives an email. Everybody receives an email. So queues are, there are two types. Queues are two types. You can transfer the record to the queue in two ways. One is manual transfer. Second one is automated transfer. Manual transfer is which we have done right now. Manual transfer is which we have done right now. So queue manual transfer is in this approach, we can transfer each record to the queue manually by changing the record owner. We have changed the record owner. What is the steps that we have followed? The steps we have followed is we opened one of the lead record and we went to the detail section and we clicked on the change owner field. And then we have changed the owner type to queue and we have selected a queue there by typing the HYD. As soon as I type HYD, immediately I receive the Hyderabad sales queue. Then we have a checkbox there, send emails to the members. I clicked on that, right? So as soon as I clicked on it, I clicked on save button. Once these steps are done, now I can see that lead owner is assigned to the queue. Lead owner is assigned to the queue. This is the manual transfer. This is manual transfer. So once the manual transfer is done, that means we have assigned the lead to the queue. We have assigned the lead to the queue. Now, whoever is the users as part of the queue, they will receive an email. Now, that's all for today. That's all for today. Homework is configure a queue, service queue, configure a queue, service queue by adding the case object. case object as supporting object. Case object as supporting object and add the users. Add the users. Whoever is having a license as a Salesforce license. Whoever is the user has the Salesforce license, those users add it. So add Salesforce license as the queue member. To the queue member. Okay, this is the first one. And the second one is configure a queue. Let's say its a queue name is opportunity sales queue. Opportunity sales queue by adding the opportunity object as supporting object. And Salesforce license users as the queue member. Right, so for the second one, what are you able to observe it? Just respond that. Okay, whether you are able to do it or not. What is the observation? Those observation. Provide me all the observations. So that's all for today.